Hi, welcome to Top Shelf Nerds, the show for nerds by nerds about nerds. I'm Mr. DJ Fly High, and accompanying me would be Buck and the Professor. We call ourselves Nerds Amalgamated, and today, being our first episode, we have a lot of topics to talk about, such as the Australian government's Game On report and the fallout, Elon Musk's Falcon Heavy rocket launch, Red Dead Redemption 2's release date, game releases in Brisbane in the last couple of weeks, esports, G Infinity Australia with Hoyt Cinema Esports Arena partnership, Germany's push to ban loot boxes, the version of Athena in the Arrow the TV series. So where shall we start? Where should we start first, fellas?
I reckon we should start with the Australian government.
Okay.
I've got
Everyone hates them, so let's burn them first.
Yeah.
I've got the report open here in front of me for it's called the Australian Government Response to the Environment and Communications References Committee Report, Game On, More Than Playing Around. So the Environment and Communications References Committee is a Senate committee that, in this case, is investigating into the arts. Up until a few years back, 2014, I believe, we had the Australian Interactive Games Fund, which was a funding for game developers. And the government pulled that a few years back. So in 2016, the really long-named committee decided that they were going to do an investigation into that and decide whether that was a good idea or not. And they came back with some recommendations in April. And we've only just gotten a response from the government on that. So the key response there for the first recommendation from the report, that they should reintroduce the funding scheme. The government's basically just given a very wishy-washy answer. They've noted this recommendation, but they just don't seem to be interested in bothering to do anything with it. They've mentioned that state and territory governments offer funding and other incentives, but the thing is that's not what the Senate report was asking about. So
it's kind of like they're just washing their hands clean of all this, going, okay, you know what, screw this, we're going to let you guys run the asylum, go nuts.
Pretty much. And the state and territory government references that they've given refer to other things, really. I don't think they're as focused on the games industry as the original fund was.
So the reality is that they're more worried about making sure they've got enough money for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yes, which is unfortunate because the original Senate report came back saying that the fund was hugely profitable.
How much profitable?
I don't have the exact numbers to hand.
I remember reading a couple of years back, the Australian gaming industry is increasing its market sharehold. It almost had, I think it was almost 20% of the total gaming market was actually from Australia, and the US at the same time was $18 billion a year. So yeah, we're pulling 20% of 18 billion. That's $3.6 billion that is being generated annually.
Is that from like console? But does it depend on like consoles or mobile gaming in general?
That's just in general.
In general,
Yeah.
all gaming and so forth apps. So at the end of the day, a gaming developer should have the freedom to develop a game, whether it's a mobile app or a console game or a PC game. And some of those games can be used for educational purpose and training. And prime example of that is good old Tetris.
Oh, yes.
Apparently originally developed for hand-eye coordination and beta processing for astronauts, and also used as a training tool for storemen.
You know, that's actually recommendation 4 in this document. The committee recommended that the government facilitate dialogue between Video Game Industry Association and groups that use or could potentially use serious games. And the government's response was that they support it in principle, but think that it's something that the industry should do itself.
So, like I said, this whole report is just basically saying, okay, yeah, screw you guys. We're not going to give you anything. Just go away.
Well, no. The report, from what if I'm understanding you correctly, Professor, is it's saying the government should be doing all the funding. It's got a whole lot of potential good, both financially and in every other way, shape, and form. And the government's response is, yeah, but we need our pocket money to pay for our ice creams at lunch.
Pretty much.
Okay, so total snafu from the government. Thanks a lot, politicians. Glad we pay you so much money to just be complete ignorant morons. But we'll have to keep track of that. If there's any more comes up, Professor, you let us know at any time.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything's going to happen from that now, but I will let you know if anything does come up.
Awesome. We'll also post a link about that report on our Facebook page. Okay, well, moving on. The next topic, Elon Musk.
Yeah. That was a great launch.
The Falcon Heavy on Tuesday. You got to admire a man who has the courage and complete insanity to launch a car into space.
Oh yeah, and so many media came out, including both.
If you just give me a minute, we're gonna have to go and reset Fua.
Yeah, sorry
Try turning him off and on again.
The DJ is actually not a human being. He's in fact an android that we occasionally get to loose wire. So that's the reason why he does sound a little bit strange. It's not just weird, the loose wire. So we apologise. So yeah.
Oh.
After the launch, the Tesla that was launched cruised through space for a good 6 hours and was live streamed by SpaceX. The Falcon Heavy is a combination of the Falcon 9,
3 Falcon 9s strapped together.
Was it 3? Because I heard they strapped an extra one to it as well.
I'm not sure, but I watched the live stream and there were 3 boosters that they were concerned with. So
okay.
The center booster, which carried the Tesla, was taller than the others. So I don't know if that's where you're getting that from.
That might be it. Just for all those sci-fi nerds, epic tragics like myself who love this sort of rigmarole and crazy data. It's the most powerful rocket launched to space, Saturn III. And yet, considering all that, until SpaceX actually manages to land a unit onto Mars, they're not going to share their toys. So, yeah, at that point, SpaceX will probably be going, well, our stuff is better.
What was the best, in that entire stream, what was the best moment, you guys?
Sorry, what was that?
In that entire live stream event of launching the rocket and landing, what was the best moment in that entire...
The double booster touchdown.
The double booster touchdown? Oh, that was that. I agree with you there.
I'm a huge fan for when it actually lifts off. That solid, just raw power. I'm sorry, but nothing gets me more excited than watching something that's as powerful as a nuclear
although it begs the
pushing
so
many tons up and breaking the Earth's gravity. Like that's just pure magic.
Although that begs the question, though, is this a sign of the new space race? The new space race. Sorry.
Well, there's no one's hiding and denying it is a space race. The space race has from government into corporate, and the good thing with that is corporate is more interested in performance than waste, whereas government, we had, for the Americans, we had NASA, which had so many thousands of people, and a lot of the technology that was being used to launch the space shuttle in the 1990s, so forth, was technology that was outdated by the 1970s. So I'll get the professor to post a picture of a laptop he's working on restoring. That's about the power is in some of the areas of the space shuttle.
And also this laptop I'm restoring on that topic, the Toshiba T1100 from 1985 runs an 8086 processor. It's actually one of the laptops that NASA considered using in space back in the 80s when it came out.
But the truly sad thing, you go look at an average mobile phone sitting in someone's pocket today, and that probably has 3 times the amount of computing than the entire cohort of spacecraft that were launched to send man to the moon and all the original space flight before the space shuttle.
The cost of it must have been astronomical back then.
Oh, it almost bankrupted the American government, and
it did bankrupt the Russians, basically.
Well, that was part of the process of trying to destroy the Russians. The Americans don't like competition. They want to be the only mean, horrible person on the block.
The interesting thing is that the reason they use such old tech for spacecraft is that it's a lot more resilient to radiation than modern computers.
Yes.
But it's also a result of there being almost no innovation in the manned spaceflight field since the 80s when the space shuttle debuted.
No, there has been innovation. It just hasn't been accepted and tested.
Yeah.
If you actually go look at a lot of the innovation, it has been in satellites and guidance. Unfortunately, the majority of that ends up in the military arena. And once again, the Americans hide it and don't let anyone else play.
The other problem, the one thing that I'm going to be concerned about is if SpaceX gets successful and we bring in more humans into space travel, is that are we going to get a repeat of the Columbus incident?
I don't think so.
With the space shuttle exploding.
We've learned a lot from those incidents. The Columbia and the what was the other one that exploded?
It's Columbia.
I can't
Challenger.
remember. Yeah,
Challenger. Yes.
That was the one with the teacher, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Challenger was the teacher, and Columbia was the space shuttle tile.
Yeah, so the one that exploded during ascent was, I think they've learned a lot from that accident specifically, because if you look into the history of it, the engineers warned them that there was a risk of failure because of the cold temperatures of the O-rings being exposed to cold temperatures.
Yeah.
And the NASA heads basically ignored them because they wanted to have a launch and keep things moving instead of shutting down for a bit longer just to check out the O-ring.
Yep.
So then the failure happened, but there was a lot of inquiry into what happened and how they can stop it from happening again. So I think there probably will be another big disaster like that, but I don't think it's going to be because of the same sort of reason. And again, with the other space shuttle that was destroyed, the incident that happened with that, with the tile being damaged, there was nothing they could have done to save them anyway because there was no way to get to them in time to rescue them before they would have run out of supplies.
Yeah.
And as cold-hearted as it might seem, every time there's an accident, science develops so much more technology because you learn so much more from it that aren't supposed to happen. So you find out what has gone wrong and develop a lot more safety mechanisms and coping mechanisms, strengthen up your technology and your understanding of something through fatal, unfortunately. But yeah.
That's what I love about watching the air crash investigation type shows.
Yeah.
Because the air industry especially has a lot of crossover with spaceflight, especially in the 60s and 70s, where all the astronauts were test pilots from before NASA even went to space. They were testing high-performance aircraft.
Yep.
And they borrowed a lot of the mindset when it comes to accidents from there, where if you have an accident, the first thing you do is stop and work out what happened and make sure that the accident doesn't happen again.
Exactly. And getting back to the Columbia, the entire accident research investigation, I did hear how many thousands of hours of research have gone into it, but it was still going over a decade after the accident. There was still investigation research exactly what happened. And so yeah, they may take their time learning some of this stuff, expanding on it, but so
it's 15 years ago to this day, not to this day, but a couple of days ago.
Sorry, can you say that again?
So it's 15 years ago, 9 days ago.
We really got to get that loose wire head on you there, DJ.
Yep.
But okay, other great news, similar to the epic nerd and light and so forth. Professor, you were saying there was how many drones flying in sync at the Olympics?
So we got...
It was 1,218 drones flying in formation at the I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Pyeongchang Winter Olympics opening ceremony. They formed a series of images in the sky, flying in a cloud the shape of a snowboarder and in the Olympic rings.
Man, that was so cool.
Oh man, actually, speaking of drones, that brings a question about imagine launching drones into space. That would be the next venture, I reckon.
Are you volunteering?
No,
No, we
I'll
can't send
be
him into space until we fix that.
Yeah, we might end up being an intergalactic war with another species or something because the DJ has offended. Talking about drones flying in formation, I just remembered that just clicked in my mind. There's actually plans for defence and offence by the Americans, and I think Canadians might be in on it too, using drones instead of regular manned aircraft, having drones that operate en masse to carry out attacks for border defence and of manoeuvres if necessary. So having one operator in a control room with operating one lead drone and a whole lot of other drones slave to it and just swarming over targets.
I think there was also speaking of drones. I think there was also a report that China was releasing manned drones. I believe.
They released a man.
There was hang on a second. This was passenger drones. That's the one. China was releasing a passenger drone, the E-Hang 184. People are carried around in self-flying drones.
A self-flying drone is what.
I think that's what he said before he died.
Sorry about that, folks. We'll give him a new battery, see if he comes back to life. The drone being used for transportation is something also floated by Uber and Google.
And Amazon, I believe, is
they were talking about
bringing in their drone
deliveries.
deliveries.
But there's questions about the viability and safety. Air traffic control or something were against it, or whatever it is in America. Just because having that many drones flying around would potentially constitute a flight hazard. As soon as you have that happening, you're going to have someone who's stupid enough to fly a drone across the top of an airport and cause a crash. There we go. He's back.
He's
recharged. Okay. DJ, you were telling me earlier about Red Dead Redemption 2's release date. Do you want to fill us in a bit more?
Oh, yes, I will. Yes, I will. Red Dead Redemption 2. It is coming out later in 2018, and there are a lot of good things to talk about. And according to an article from Tech Radar, when is it coming out? It's coming out on October 26, 2018, and it is the sequel to the Wild West Rockstar hit Red Dead Redemption. The trailers, the two trailers have been out. It's beautiful to look at. So many options and whatnot. There are a lot of rumors that have been coming out since the trailers, such as the online modes, for example, the Revive and Survive, Battle Royale, and Money Grab.
He's really not doing well tonight, is he?
Sorry, folks, we'll have to tighten those wires.
Yeah. I think what he's trying to say is that I have no idea what he was saying at all.
Okay.
I think last I heard he was saying that was beautiful scenery and graphic trailers that have come out, and there's a lot of
and the online options.
Yes, there's a lot of online options.
Online.
And we'll be coming back to some of that a bit later when we talk about Germany's plan to ban the loot boxes. There was concern that Red Dead might be wanting to play with that area, but let's hope that they learn from the massive failure of Star Wars.
And that's another topic we can go on for hours and hours about Star Wars.
Well, actually, no, we can't, because the game is so bad that as an epic Star Wars tragic, I start to become unprofessional, and I will use quite offensive language, and I will not apologise for it, folks.
And we only have a 1 hour time slot, so we can't spend hours talking about that.
Nope.
Yes, I can guarantee you I will get violently angry for about 3 or 4 hours just on that one topic.
But in regards to the release, there are some new. The report is also saying that the game will have new mechanics. There'll be locations dedicated to procuring new items and gambling, such as slum markets, where you can pick up items on a discount. Vehicles will range from mine carts to horse-drawn carriages, and the main campaign and the online mode will be playable in first person, and the eagle eye function will return. I loved the eagle eye function. It was beautiful. It was great. First Red Dead Redemption is good. I hope the second one tops it off even
Awesome.
more. So
I think he's singing the praises of the first game.
And hoping that the new version is going to be just as good.
Yes.
It's hey, I'm a big fan of open world games, and this was one of the best open world games I ever played.
I'll wait for the definitive edition to come out on PC in 2 years, though.
Oh yeah. What's the other one? The zombie edition. That was great.
Yeah.
But the rumors, there are a couple of rumors that are out there, such as
Now, before we start talking about rumors, do you have any grounding solid facts to back?
This is from Tech Radar, so
okay, well then we won't discuss these rumors because we've only got one source, and I'm sorry, as a nerd, I hate academically uncredible rumors.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we could have any idiot talking about a rumor such as Donald Trump is actually an alien from Jupiter.
That's not a rumor, that's been confirmed.
Don't insult Jupiter, they will attack us.
yeah.
So moving right along.
Yep.
Otherwise we'll get bogged here.
Yeah.
Typical nerds that we are, we're excited about one topic at times. Game releases, Professor. Once again, this is your area.
Yes, I am. I've got the Brisbane Brisbane International Game Developers Association page here with the releases of the last couple of weeks. So one of the biggest events in the indie games industry, was the Global Game Jam, which wrapped up a week or two ago, and there's a huge number of games that have come out from that. I highly recommend checking it out if you're interested in just little experimental games at all.
Okay.
But bigger releases. Sorry?
Any real standout stars that we should look at?
I can't actually say because I haven't checked out that many of them myself. But the game jams, just going through and checking the winners of each category, it's always worthwhile.
Okay. And for those that are interested, there will be a link that we will post on Facebook where you can go and have a look at that, and you can have a look at some of the games and tell us what you think of them.
I've also got a couple of standout releases, mainstream releases here.
Okay.
One of the guys from the Brigda has released his first commercial project, Outrealm, which is an interesting looking game. It's a sort of 8-bit style, 16-bit style really, but I think it looks a bit like an RPG. I think that'll be worth checking out. It's available on Steam now.
Awesome.
Other Pocket Bonsai is a real-time bonsai growing game available for free on iOS. I actually haven't met the guys who made this game before, and I don't know where they're coming from with this, but it's something different, something experimental. I remember there was a game called Mountain, which was the same sort of basic idea a few years ago that was popular enough.
A real-time bonsai growing.
Yeah.
Okay, I love epic games that more than a month or two.
Oh, look at that.
Get through.
You can decorate your little bonsai pot, like put little statues. If I had an iOS thing, I would check that
you
out.
could spend centuries growing a bonsai.
Yeah, I used to have some. We used to have some bonsais. We didn't have much luck with them. They kept dying.
Okay.
Imagine if the loot boxes for the bonsai game came out like, okay, we need you get more fertilizer, more accelerant.
Here we go. So on the topic of the Global Game Jam, there were 9 games to come out of the Brisbane Jam site.
Awesome.
So and all of them were finished by the end of the jam, like all playable.
Awesome.
So we have a link to the a link to the Brisbane section on the show notes.
Our game developers in Brisbane are world class, and they're taking no prisoners. They're going to take over the world.
And destroy the Australian government in the process.
No, not destroy it. Fix it.
Oh yeah, fix it.
Yes, vote for my political party, the Land Party.
They can fix it after destroy.
And there he goes again.
Okay, talking about
That would.
games.
Uh, eh,
A interesting piece of news that I noticed during the week, and I love the idea of, is Gfinity and Hoyt are combining to present a esports arena situation where they're converting a cinema into an esport arena, and they're actually going to have a league. I can't remember the games off the top. Sorry, folks, but there's a prize of $450,000, I think it is.
wow, 400.
Um, okay, featuring three games: Rocket League, Counter Strike Global Offensive, and Street Fighter Five.
Ooh, Rocket.
And they're gonna offer an opportunity for amateurs to have a chance to go pro with the Challenger League. So yeah, um, a prize pool of $450,000 in the Elite League. I'm loving this.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that there's more small scale tournaments starting up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because
these
everybody
are
knows
all
about everyone knows about the international and the other worldwide tournaments, but you don't seem to hear as much about the small scale ones. And it'll be great to have dedicated venues.
It's one of the best pieces of news I've heard. You got the university games. For any of our listeners have suffered through the agony and torture that is academic life, we understand. We feel your pain.
It's not that bad.
You're making
say
it
that.
sound like it's torturous.
To be fair, I have been graduated just long enough that I've probably started to get over the drama.
I graduated in December, and I'm actually done with going back further. So,
I think we're all glad.
excited and trepidous.
Oh
But,
yeah, it's
the university games actually have an e-sport competition, and QUT actually has a dedicated esports team and room where they're actually working on different games such as Overwatch, CS:GO. So the fact that there's a commercial venture doing the same, I love the idea.
the question would be though for esports is whether TV companies are going to take a piece of that pie now. Like I know in America esports is getting huge, and there are TV companies doing it. So I'm wondering which Australian company is going to take that venture and go
Channel 7.
Channel 7?
Channel
Ooh.
7 already broadcasts Blizzard's Overwatch World Cup games, so whether or not they will continue being involved and pursue this,
Eh?
the simple fact that they've done it once means that they've acknowledged the reality. There is interest in this, and as I said before, the gaming industry is worth billions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
It's a massive market, and you're going to have people who would love to be able to be there, but they can't necessarily make it for whatever reason. If it's available on TV, you've got groups that watch it. There was the World Championship for Overwatch. There was actually a University of Queensland.
Do you reckon
and Queensland University of Technology had a joint viewing in a cinema.
Oh yeah, I remember those days. I do have a question though. What about cable TV? Do you reckon they'll intervene as well?
Considering the fact that cable TV is starting to die in Australia because most people are going on internet to go to programs such as Netflix, Stan, whatever.
I don't see
why
any
pay a massive
production
amount of money
companies
for poor quality programming option when you just go pick what you want to watch when you want to watch it and enjoy your life.
You can already live stream most esport events for free anyway.
Yeah. And Foxtel does have that option as well, saying that okay, you can you can live stream the event commercial free, so it'll be slim, it's a big pie. It'll be a very very big pie, and it'll be interesting to see how many companies will take that big pie.
Well, at the moment, Hoyt and Gfinity are cracking the way open. Like I know that they have stuff like this over some of the Asian countries. Japan actually has a very big esports program.
Let's not forget Korea.
And well, I was just going to say, and Korea they never do things by half. Whether it's dance or esports or pop music, they just go insane for what they do, and they just take it to a maximum level. It's always fun.
But hopefully this takes off and introduce a whole new brand of gamers. Like gaming in Australia is a big industry, and hopefully we bring the seed. Sorry.
Yep. Whole new generation of gamers.
Oh yeah.
Supported,
Yep.
encouraged. Okay, DJ, you were going to tell us a bit more about the Germany or to ban the loot boxes or something.
Yeah. So I saw an interesting article about how with the loot boxes coming out and people are getting angrier and angrier by the dozens. Countries have now taken
And there he goes.
stance to
Sorry, folks.
ban loot boxes. So, for example, Belgium.
Yeah, you're going to have to start again there.
Germany,
Sorry,
Can you hear
folks,
us?
for those who are wondering what's happened, I've actually
the US.
going with Taser.
Hold on.
That's the reason why he's kind of funny.
Let's see if he's back now.
Is he conscious?
Are you there?
DJ? Nope, he is completely kaputski at the moment.
Hey, at least he's not making that annoying noise.
Is that talking or just the funny buzzing?
Both.
Okay. Well, while we wait for DJ to regain contact, an interesting piece of news I saw was a new addition to the Arrowverse TV series. Yes, I am a DC fan rather than a Marvel hippie.
Am I alive?
No, you're
Something
not.
happened?
No, you smell kind of funny, so we don't know whether you're alive or not. But as I was saying, I'm a DC fan rather than a Marvel hippie, so hence the reason why I enjoy the Arrow TV series and the Arrowverse. They're introducing a new character who is going to be called Athena, not to be mixed up with the old Athena character from DC, who was a goddess and a cousin of sorts connected to Wonder Woman. This character is actually going to be from the League of Assassins, and the most interesting part about this is it is, and I'll apologize if I get the name wrong here, it is Kira Zagorski. She was once a Kryptonian in Smallville. She was also in Helix, I think it was. So, yeah, interesting twist, and love to see where this goes.
So she has a bit of a pedigree for superhero shows.
She does. She's not one of the traditional people for funny characters. She was in the 100, so yeah, that was a lot of fun.
But the thing,
and he's still broken.
The thing with characters in, I'm still broken.
Oh,
I'm still broken.
He fixed himself.
I must have been too hard with the taser. I'm sorry, folks.
This is why we can't have nice things.
But there's so much fun to shoot you with the taser. And before
It's
anyone
not fun
calls
for
it,
my
please,
ears.
before anyone calls it, please just understand the taser is just what we call the rubber band. Well, that's what our lawyers will say. If anyone.
Please help me.
So, are you back to tell us more about the loot boxes?
Please have mercy. Yes, I am. So a couple of
I don't think he
because
is,
of the
really.
loot boxes and how people are going angry at them. I am sort of getting there.
Okay.
I'm alive.
How about we push that back to next week then, and
Yeah.
Steve and I will wrap this up.
I think
Get DJ back once we've done some repairs.
Sorry about that, folks. We'll wind up the rubber bands a bit tighter. We'll put a bit of oil in areas it needs to be, and if it all fails, we'll just burn him alive at the stake and build
And get a new one.
Very funny, fellas. Very funny.
So, folks, just like to say thank you for listening. And that's it for the show this week. Unless there was something else you wanted to add there, Professor?
Only that Netflix released the Jessica Jones trailer for season a couple of days ago. I'm looking forward to that. It'll be interesting to see where they take that. I really enjoyed the first season.
I love the dark grittiness. It has a DC feel with Batman almost, like undertones.
Yeah. Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are very dark Marvel shows.
Yeah.
I actually can't comment on any of the others because I haven't seen them.
I have to
Speak.
actually give a round of applause to Marvel for actually going for something that isn't all rainbows and unicorns. And thank you. I am actually clapping here, and anyone who knows me understands that. Yeah, I really do pay out on Marvel.
And they also did the Cloverfield paradox the other day at the. I'm sure everyone's heard by now, but at the Super Bowl, they announced it at the halftime ad break. However, that works. Presumably, ads at halftime, but they announced it and then released it immediately following the game.
Sweet.
I think that's a
Oh.
very innovative way to release a TV show, no, a movie.
Yes.
And having such
Yeah.
like the Cloverfield movies are sort of mainstream, big budget movies that come out in cinemas. I think it's interesting to have a cinema movie go straight to streaming.
It is. And congratulations to the Eagles on embarrassing the pretenders and wannabe Patriots. I know the DJ is a fan of the Patriots and actually has a man crush on Tom Brady, but as you can see, he has more than one wire and lots of other problems. So
Hey.
No.
Oh, and
no, he's gone
Speak-
again. So
and
as
speak-
I was saying, thanks for listening.
The
That's it for
trailers,
the show
though,
this
fella.
week. Oh, he's coming back.
I think we should just wrap it up here because he's being too unreliable tonight, and we'll come back to the loot box ban next week.
Yep. So that's it for this week, folks. You can follow us and other fabulous podcasts in the That's Not Canon universe of Spectacular Entity. Yeah, feel free to drop our Facebook page, give us a like, give us comments, questions, whatever. No swearing, no behaviour, please. Unless it's ridiculously funny. No. Yeah. And yeah, if there's anything else you would like us to speak about, please let us know. Follow us on Facebook and let us know what you like. And thank you very much for listening and have a great and safe week. And that's me that's goodbye from me, the Buck. And the Professor and DJ is melted down and going to recycling. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night.
Yeah. Goodbye, farewell, amen.
We'll see you next week.